All right. Well, guess what? AI is your new religion. It's your new country. It's your new legal system. AI is your daddy. If you have not realized this, well, then you should be listening to the major theme at the Davos World Economic Forum in Switzerland happening this week, January in 2026. Listen to this speech. It's called An Honest Conversation on AI and Humanity. The speaker is Yuval Noah Harari. He's a research fellow at the Center for the Study for Existential Risk. And what he says here about AI, it is the new world order and it's undeniable. We're going to listen to what he has to say. It's about 2 minutes long. And then we're going to talk about, do we want this? Watch.
Therefore, anything made of words will be taken over by AI. If laws are made of words, then AI will take over the legal system. If books are just combinations of words, then AI will take over books. If religion is built from words, then AI will take over religion. This is particularly true of religions based on books, like Islam, Christianity, or Judaism. Judaism calls itself the religion of the book, and it grants ultimate authority not to humans, but to words in books. Humans have authority in Judaism not because of our experiences, but only because we learn words in books. Now, no human can read and remember all the words in all the Jewish books. But AI can easily do that. What happens to a religion of the book when the greatest expert on the holy book is an AI? However, some people may say, can we really reduce human spirituality to just words in books? Does thinking mean only putting language tokens in order? If you observe yourself carefully when you're thinking, you will notice that something else is happening there besides words popping in your mind and forming sentences.
Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutation to the whole elect. News in the gospel broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. It goes into the globalist elites at Davos just expose their plans. Now, we understand what goes on at these summits to some degree because they put some of the things before cameras, but see, it's the secret councils that they're not putting before the cameras that's exposing the New World Order. Because right here you have a guy by the name of Noah Yuval Harari, which basically stated that we don't need the concept of a God because ourselves can become God through this new innovation of technology, hence AI, which stands for artificial intelligence, which most of the science fiction movies or the sci-fi movies go into it. You know, we've quoted tenets of Terminator, Matrix being two big ones. You had iRobot, you got Minority Report, and there's a movie out now. I might have to go check it out actually tomorrow, but that's a movie out now titled Mercy, when it basically deals with you having to prove that you didn't commit a crime within, I believe, 45 minutes or some shit. But it goes into this whole Palantir system with AI being a helm of everything, and everything is monitored, surveyed. And this is why they have a task force that scours the internet for content speaking out against this devil's New World Order. Okay, so this is this devil Noah Yuval Harari basically breaking down the whole Great Reset, because right now we're in a reset. This is why financial markets are toppling. This is why civil unrest is falling. This is why the cost of living is going up to the point they want to price everybody out, and they want to get everybody under this one world jurisdiction, which is the New World Order, the NWO. All right, so I'm going to keep going, but there's several articles, several videos on this. You got Whitney Webb, you got Candace Owens, Kim Iverson, Redacted, which is all paid opposition, by the way. Whitney Webb, I question whether she's controlled opposition. She seems pretty authentic, in my opinion. But then again, these people can be bought and paid for. But Whitney Webb, investigative journalist, she brings out some very condemning information on these devils, and it's worth the watch, man. Okay, so let's listen to some more of this madness. But this is where we at, brothers. All right, from henceforth, things are not gonna go back to pre-2020 levels. This is it. When the pandemic came, that was all a ploy to establish lockdowns and to take away more civil freedoms, to establish more dictatorships. And now, after the lockdowns and the COVID shit, now things are pretty much we're in draconian mode right now. This is what you call a dystopia, with the worst yet to come.
You also have some non-verbal feelings. Maybe you feel pain. Maybe you feel fear. Maybe love. Some thoughts are painful. Some are frightening. Some are full of love. While AIs become better than us with words, at least for now, we have zero evidence that AIs can feel anything.
If I ever find that son of a bitch Dr. Berg who told me to start using beef fat on my face instead of all those moisturizers from the stores that are including...
Okay, so did you hear what he says here? He says that since our religions are based on text, that if now AI is the expert on that text, it can manipulate what our religious beliefs are. Now, you may think, oh no, I have my own understanding of the Bible, of the Torah, of the Quran. World governments have used religion to control an agenda, how they've used words to control an agenda, how they've used laws, and they have done this through human train of thought. Now, what will happen? So I don't know, boys, do you have any reaction to this before we look at the rest of the program that's all AI based? Because what it says to me is that these world orders will break down and whoever controls the AI is the winner. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I was gonna say, we already know like AI gets so many things wrong, and if it's gonna learn wrong from wrong, it's just gonna be a cycle, and it's only going to get worse. I mean, I don't know,
I think that both of you are not going out to the stream. So I'm listening to you, but you are not.
It was me. I had me muted. Sorry, I'm
Okay.
because we had all the technical issues. I'm
Philip made
all out of
amazing
sorts here.
points, and you all missed it. Okay.
My point
I really didn't. I just kind of
now.
mumbled. Yeah, I just kind of mumbled some stuff about. I don't think it's a good idea. Like I think it's what they're doing, but I don't think it's a good idea. So yeah, that's what I basically said.
So yeah, man. Anyway, let's go over here. The book of Job 20:4 says, "Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumph of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment?" Yeah, this is why Esau was coming down with great wrath. You heard what he said. He said basically, man, AI would be the thing to. It's basically linking man up to machine. Men versus, like they had a term called men versus machine. All right, but basically they want the man to become the machine because they want to put the adequate technology inside you so you can be part of the system, so to speak. Revelation 13:15 on down, man. This is what it's going to boil down to. In order for you to navigate in this society, you're going to have to totally give away all your rights and be part of this new world order. And the token to that is getting the RFID chip, which is going to link all the shit together. Okay, they had a thing called Internet of Things, IoT. But now you have what they call Internet of Bodies. This is why they're building up smart cities. Everything requires a digital verification to make sure you who you say you are. Hell, even changing avatars on social media like YouTube. You got to update you got to show an image of yourself so they can know who's putting what. That's basically them that's you I won't even say incriminating because there's no crime putting up videos exposing this shit. But according to them, you are an enemy of the state because you exposing the diabolical bullshit that this fucking pedophile was just going into. So I need to look into this motherfucker's life. Look into his Epstein type life and see what he got going on. Why you trying to put link everybody up to AI? Like that's complete madness, bro. And it says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, his head reaching into the clouds. That's that pride, man. Because they're just so sure that this is gonna work, man, and people gonna revolt against it. It says, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung, and they which have seen him shall say, where is he? Right? Because when you flush feces down the toilet, you don't look forward to it coming back up. You flush it to never be heard of again. You know, you take a bowel movement last week, you ain't thinking about that bowel movement you took last week, and that's basically what Esau is going to be equated to. Once he's out of the earth can rest, things can go back to normal or paradise. The earth will yield this full increase. The people will be in a right state of mind. All right, you ain't got a talking robot to try to do some crazy shit to you in your sleep. And the list goes on, man. And it says here, he shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he should be chased away as a vision of the night. And this is why the Lord is getting ready to stump this devil out, man. Because what he's talking is straight blasphemy. They're trying to replace Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai at the end of the day. And it says, and the eye which also saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him, which proves that no heathen, especially not Esau, will be saved. Because this right here tells us that there ain't going to be no more Edomites. You know? Go to the book of Revelation. Because this is a wicked plot. This is a wicked plan. Revelation 13, and let's start at verses 14. Because he's making it sound good, you know, like the scriptures say, though their words were smoother than oil, yet war was in his heart. They were drawn swords. Yeah, it sounds good. You know, you download AI or some type of biometric system into your body, whatever, and it tells you you're going to catch the common cold 3 weeks before it happened, and this is what's going on in your body. Yeah, it sounds cute. But overall, is it really conducive for the people's welfare? Fuck no. It's about putting you back in slavery, man. That's why the Lord said affliction should not rise up a second time, because it ain't going to work. He's not going to accomplish this. He's going to get real close, and the Most High is going to take it from him. And deceived them that dwelled on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Yeah, because the ancient Roman Empire fell. But now we're witnessing the revivalation or the revision or the renaissance or rebirth of that old ancient system coming back in the earth. And this is why when he saw the beast, it had a wound, but it was healed, man. Because it wasn't ultimately destroyed. It was just dormant for a while. And it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and the whole AI, everything that goes into the image, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now that this AI shit is coming to life, it brings scriptures like this to life. Because at first you look at it and like, okay, I won't say speculative, but it gets a little bit more deeper when you understand the ins and outs of what they're doing with this technology and what they want to incorporate, the Great Reset. It makes a lot of sense now because it's within a season. That's why the Lord said, in this time, I will bring it to pass. And it says here, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And this is going to be part of that Great Reset / Palantir, Stargate, whatever the hell they want to call it, program, man. Now, they may not call the chip the mark of the beast because, I mean, that would be a dead giveaway. But those of us that have two spiritual brain cells working in our spirit, we can put 2 and 2 together and say, yeah, this is the chip. While most of you people are going to take it. All right.
Okay. And the point David made is that AI is faulty, extremely faulty. I think anyone who's used it understands that. And so what will it be based on? But for how long will it be faulty and how will it be faulty? We don't know, right? So when you go to the Davos World Economic Forum, you can see the program that's happening this week in Switzerland. And when you search for the AI-based sessions, now think it's Monday through Friday of this week, you get a 47 sessions returned. So what I thought we would do is look at these AI-based programs that are now currently, the one that you just saw was the kickoff. It was, what is the ethical concern about AI being our new world government? But it does very much.
And AI is not the beast. It's part of the image, bro. AI is the book. The beast of the book of Revelation is the end. No, that's not true. The beast is NATO, bro. All right? This system. AI is part of the image, my dude.
Seem like this is what they want and anticipate. And again, that clip as AI as your religion should sort of stop you in your tracks. You can have a gut reaction, but we have to think deeply about this because it may or may not be our future. So let's take a look at the first set. Let's put up on the screen. Is there anyone here that is sort of, making your stomach turn? What really caught my attention was the one on the bottom right, digital embassies for sovereign AI. Now, I'm not exactly sure what that means, but what I think it means is that it understands that AI will be a global power in and of itself, and who controls it? Because how can you actually say, Estonia or whatever is sovereign when their AI lives on servers in the United States and is controlled by the autocrats? What does that mean, right? Where do world borders exist? And how do you create an embassy? How do you create sovereignty? How do you have a country at all if AI is the global world order? Let's go to the next set of sessions. Really at the healthcare, China's AI economy. China's AI is a closed ecosystem from ours. What happens if that is no longer a closed ecosystem? Preventing jobless growth, because AI is going to continue to create jobs and eliminate jobs. What are those jobs? What is that shift, that power shift? Any here that stand
Well, and
out
also
to you
just
guys?
think about it, like the more dependent we become on it, like all you'd have to do is they just have to know where the data centers were, destroy those, and our whole system would go down. Our whole system of
Right.
this AI government.
Yeah. What were you
Well,
going to say?
I'm looking at that. Our market's mispricing the future. Like that seems weird to me. Like, because aren't the markets, don't they kind of settle themselves? I mean, how could they be mispricing the future? Like, I'm curious about that one.
Well, no, because the opening session today on Tuesday was all about growth in a high debt government. Since we have record debt for pretty much all Western governments, how do we grow? And so I think that they're realizing that AI is following a perverted market system. It's not based on,
Yeah, and that's just what it boils down to, man. It's smoke and mirrors. Let's go to the book of, go back to the book of Job, because Job gets all into this new world order. The whole chapter's really good. Job 20. Whole chapter's really good. But anyway, let's go. Let's keep reading. It says, though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue. Yeah, because, he's hiding the true intent. This is all about control, man. And like I said, they make it sound good, but it's really a nefarious purpose behind it. And it's to enslave humanity, man. Mainly the tribes. All right? And we don't care about you heathens. But it says, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat and his bowels is turned, and it is gall of asp within him. It says he hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again, but the Most High shall cast them out of his belly. Yeah. All right. All this shit that he laid before, he gonna have to restore. It says he shall suck the poison of asps, and the viper's tongue shall slay him. He should not see the rivers, the floods, and the brooks of honey and butter, that new world order, which is artificially created, because that's his wicked version of the kingdom of heaven on the left-hand side, because ultimately he's pissed at the Lord because he's the one that gave up his birthright. So he's taking it by force now. This is why he has all this artificial technology and trying to inseminate babies and robots and the artificial spiritual power, the military, all types of shit. He's basically trying to set up a counter world averse to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And it reads, and that which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. But according to his substance should the restitution be, and goes into restore, and he should not rejoice therein, because you're going slavery. Okay, when you go in captivity, you're gonna have to pay back that and then some, just to be destroyed after your sentence. And it says, because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor, because he have violently taken away a house which he built not. Surely he should not feel quietness in his belly, and he should not save that which he desired. And there should none of his meat be left. Therefore should no man look for his goods. And in the fullness of his sufficiency, he should be in straits. Yeah, straits goes into positions of difficulties, because now you got all the opposition coming out against him. Okay, prime example, look at this. All right, so where was I at? Dollar collapse, hyperinflation. Trump's Gestapo murders another American. 2026 U.S. empire collapse. Gold and silver are booming. What was another one I was looking at? Epstein shit coming out. XWF insider blows whistle on BlackRock and Larry Fink's evil psyop. So they're being exposed every way. The WEF exposed. I helped build it. A WEF Davos insider exposes the Great Reset. That's part of him being in the straits. Also, when you go to Book of Job 18 and start at verses 7, it says, the steps of his strength should be straightened. His own counsel should cast him down. He's been exposed by his own people. It says, for he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. The gin should take him by the heel, and a robber should prevail against him. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and the trap for him in the way. Terror should make him afraid on every side, and should drive him to his feet. So, he's through. Okay? He just a matter of playing out the script, but he's through. He's not going to win. And you know he's not going to win. Just that pride. So, hey, brothers, we just got to sit back and chill and let it happen. But it says, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High should cast the fear of his wrath upon him, and should rain it upon him while he is eating. So, in the midst of him setting up the new world order, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is going to come and take him out of his misery, man. Put him in misery, which is slavery. Sirach 10:1, it says, a wise judge would instruct his people, and a government of a prudent man is well ordered. Yeah, and Esau ain't nothing prudent about Esau. You got a government, but it's totally ran, is out of order, is wicked. All of the judges are corrupted, the politicians are corrupted, the cops are corrupted, the leadership, the mayors, the governors, the senators, they all fucking corrupt, man. And as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. What manner of men of the rulers of the city is such as they that be the other end. So you got a bunch of reprobate, a bunch of reprobate underlings to you, subjects, then, you know, the leadership is reprobate. But it says here, an unwise king destroyed this people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city should be well inhabited. Yeah. And when we get in power, we're going to govern this earth in righteousness. It's going to do what it's intended. And it reads, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in a due time he will set over one that is profitable, which is Yahweh Shai. Because Esau is not profitable or conducive to life at all. All right. What is that in Thessalonians? Let's get that real quick. Second Thessalonians 2, and let's start at verses 2. It says, that ye not be soon shaken in mind, or be troubled neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as the day of Yahweh Shai is at hand. So we're not supposed to be troubled by this. All right, this is exciting. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, Esau, which perdition goes into destruction, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worship, so that he as Yahweh sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. So this is Esau playing God, because when you go to Isaiah 14, let's pull that real quick. Isaiah 14, and we're going to start at verses 6. It says, he will smote the people in wrath with a continued stroke. He that rooted the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. Yeah, because this whole one world order, he wants to reign with an iron fist. The whole world is at rest, or the whole earth is at rest, and is quiet, and they break forth into singing. Yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fella has come up against us. Yeah, a fella goes into a person that chops down a tree. Look at Paul Bunyan. It says, but hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirred up the dead for thee, which is the nations, even all the chief ones of the earth. And it have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. And all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Yeah, because when Esau gets brought down, it's going to be questionable, like, what, damn, was this the man that made the world to tremble through his weapon, through his technology? It reads, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, and the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. But how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weakest the nations, and through what? War, stealing resources, bloodshed. You know, it says, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into the heaven, and this is that new world order mindset, and I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High, and I will sit also upon the mount of the congregations in the sides of the north, and I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, and I will be like the Most High. That's what the new world order is about, them being God. It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit, and they that shall see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of the prisoners, man? So you devils are cooked. But I'm going to end it giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Lord's will, you will edify to the next lesson. Shalom.